Review match feature. So let's take a time machine back to 2022. It's the European World Championship qualifier, and no one's read a plant card. Rikka and Avalon will nerf to near unviability with the last ban list. At the 2022 EUWCQ, it made its very first big breakout with a group of Brits. This trio, consisting of Jessica Robinson, Alex Robertson, aka Betty, and Marcus Patel. These three would all pilot the same build to top cut finishes. Not only took advantage of a format weakness, no one knew what the cards did, but he was also just a genuinely good deck. The EUWCQ is happening at the very beginning of Power of the Elements format, and most people considered Sprite to be the best deck. With the ability of Sprite Elf to reborn Totally Awesome for 2 devastating negates and a really strong resource loop, it was quickly seen as the best deck, but that was mostly based on OCG results. Following Sprite would be a widely represented Danger Tearlaments deck, with the goal of just using the Dangers to get free bodies on board to summon Curious the Lightsworn Dominion, a card that should have been banned 2 years ago. Then there was just sort of everything else. Fluanderies would run about just shiftering people, and yes, Barrier Statue was legal at this time. But what was busy destroying top tables at this event was Mystic Mind decks. That is exactly what Alex Robertson's round 11 opponent, Adam Fleming, has brought here to the EUWCQ. Sometimes it would be a Sky Striker deck to utilize it, but European players would turn to Altergeist to best use Mystic Mind. Though being one of the most powerful floodgates, denying monsters from attacking and using monster effects, in essence saying you can't win the game, Mystic Mind has its own effect that removes itself from the field if both monster counts on either field are equal at the end of the turn. So when Mystic Mind is slapped onto the field, it's either you have a direct response or you need to manipulate your monster counts in order to remove it. It just so happens that Altergeist is probably one of the best decks to utilize it because of the trap card Personal Spoofing, which allows you to shuffle away your own Altergeist monsters from your side of the field to add an Altergeist monster from your deck. No monsters on your side of the field, your opponent can't get rid of their monsters, they're locked under Mystic Mind until they have an out. And the way that Alex's plant deck is built, he doesn't really have any main deck outs to Mystic Mind.
So the guy came over to get me for the feature match. I then check my phone, and I just get a message from my friends "You're playing Altergeist on feature." I'm like,
It's one thing to have a huge advantage in your deck building, but it's another to know all the small interactions in your deck and to use that toolbox to beat what's on the board. It's time to beat the most broken floodgate since Vanity's Emptiness. Let's go. Not that Alex isn't guilty either, though. One might say that it's fortunate that Alex is going first here in this game. But Mystic Mind is a floodgate that you can easily just slap onto a full comboed board. If you don't have the responses for it, you're in for a very, very slow game. So Alex sets up a full combo. Bangalancer, Strenna, set 3 with Ricochet, and a Rikka Princess in the graveyard, Concon on field. By 2022 standards, this is basically unbreakable. So play goes back to Adam, where one of the most terrifying cards in a floodgate deck goes off. Pot of Extravagance, drawing him 2 cards at the small cost of essentially not playing an extra deck. Adam link summons into Hextia with the Marionetter and the Pukari in hand, sets 3, and passes. Betty dodges the Mystic Mind bullet, but there are still plenty of cards that can activate Mystic Mind. Alex starts his turn and makes a great play. He simply switches all of his monsters to attack position and gets in a boatload of damage, dropping Adam down to 2,300 life points. In main phase 2, Alex goes in for a Rikka Glamour, tributing his Strenna, but is hit with a very valuable Ash Blossom. On the new chain, Strenna is triggered, summoning Sacred Tree Beast Hypertion. And then Adam chains his Demise to the land to activate Mystic Mind from the deck. Oh boy. Wait, is this even legal? Folks, get your rulings notebooks out. Let me explain. Let's read over Demise of the Land really quickly. When your opponent special summons a monster, activate one field spell card directly from your deck. Now, the big part is the when clause. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there are two different trigger conditions. There is the if clause and the when clause. In the case of if, it doesn't matter when the requirement was met. It could be Chainlink 99 when the requirement was met, say a monster was special summoned, and yeah, you can activate the card on resolution. However, the when effects are very different. Rikka is a card that reads, if this card is tributed, special summon one rank 5 or higher plant XYZ monster, then attach this card as material. If you catch it here in resolving Strenna, the first action is to special summon, but after the special summon, Strenna attaches herself as material. On the new chain, Demise of the Land only recognizes an XYZ material being attached and not the special summon of a monster. And if you want some other rulings, Demise of the Land reads exactly like some other cards. Bottomless Trap Hole and Torrential Tribute all work the same way. Nerd session over. But no one catches it immediately on stage, so Mystic Mind gets activated on Alex and all he can do is grin. So now the Mystic Mind minigame begins. Alex Robertson, in order to get rid of the Mystic Mind, needs ways to clear his entire field in order to match Adam's monster count, which is, 0. So he gets to work. And then, after both players pass back to each other, Alex link summons into an Aromatherapy Jasmine. And then he tribute summons Mudon to make his Con live, which can set a Rikka Glamour from the deck. And then he activates Rikka Glamour here. This spell card is going to be one of his most important resources. Not just the fact that it searches 2 cards, but it is something that can remove monsters from his field in order to manipulate the monster counts. And also a very nice technical play here from Alex. He doesn't link off his entire field. He leaves the Hypertion on the field in order to prevent Adam from trying to break his own mine and set up his own board. So play goes back to Adam. After activating another Pot of Extravagance, Alex realizes that his Altergeist opponent has basically banished his entire extra deck face down, so there's little threat of big combo plays remaining from his opponent's deck. So after Adam sets 2 more face down cards, Alex Robertson sees his chance to break the lock. Alex will activate another Rikka Glamour, tributing his XYZ monster to search 2 Rikka cards. That's met with an Ash Blossom, but it doesn't matter much to Alex. All that matters is that there are no monsters on his side of the field and none on his opponent's end. The only thing that could stop this is that if Adam has a multi-faker in the hand to keep the Mystic Mine on field. But he doesn't, and the first Mystic Mine is destroyed in the end phase, and play is back to Adam. Altergeist continues with the game plan. He's hoping to be able to stick a mine onto the field, as his extra deck win conditions are mostly expended to just completely lock Alex out of the game. So he slaps another Mystic Mine down from the hand and normal summons a Silk and passes turn. But that Mystic Mine is not going to be on the field for long. Alex Robertson has his Rikka Petal from his opening combo. That is going to summon itself from the graveyard to the board and equalize the monster counts in the end phase. And so with no more ways to modulate the monsters on field for Adam, he has to let his second Mystic Mine go down. The draws for Adam had to be a bit poor for this situation. As nice as Altergeist monsters and Rivalry of the Warlords are, they aren't the cards he needs in this situation. Floodgate's not working as 2 Rivalry of the Warlords stare down each other. Demise of the Land being dead in the spell trap zone, Adam has to concede game 1. Mystic Mine is a good card, but sometimes the mine is too mystic for its own deck. In game 2, Adam gets to go first. He's trying to draw cards that simply lock his opponent out of the game, but with the focus so much on Rivalry of the Warlords and Mystic Mine, all he has in his side deck are cards that let Mystic Mine stay on the field. But he's not playing any more degenerate floodgates like Secret Village of the Spellcasters or Anti-Spell Fragrance, for example, because, well, in this format, you don't really need those cards. In theory, the Rivalry of the Warlords is enough to FTK 90% of the decks in the format. except for Rikka on Avalon. So as a bit of an awkward side deck goes in for Adam, Alex hardly needs his side. Put in a couple evenlies and call it a day. His deck surprisingly has its own solid Mystic Mine outs. So Adam gets to go first. He normal summons Marionetter, sets a manifestation, sets one more unknown card, and slaps a Mystic Mine onto the field. Editor Phi here. Look, I just like the idea of slapping Mystic Mines onto the field. A simple turn. Hope you can't play through this. Looking at a Mystic Mine, Betty sets a single card and just passes back to Adam. Adam draws for turn, sees he has no more playable cards, and passes right back to Alex. So Alex starts with one of his most important cards in this situation, Rikka. Just like last game, this card will constantly threaten Mystic Mine on the field, being able to summon itself back during the opponent's end phase whenever Mystic Mine needs to get removed. Petal searches the Mudon, and then activates itself from the hand, tributing the Petal to special summon itself. Mudon will search out Konkon, a very important card here, because just like last game, Konkon can get Rikka Glamour, which will again be an instrumental card in clearing Alex's own field. And it gets even crazier from Alex's perspective. He crashes his own Mudon into the Marionetter, an actual genius play. Now, Alex could have removed the Mystic Mine on his own turn by just keeping the Mudon facing off with the Marionetter. But that means on the next turn, Adam might be able to push for extra damage if he has extra Altergeist cards in his hand. Robertson deliberately keeps the Mystic Mine on the field. Many players would be in a rush to get rid of Mystic Mine, but on the flip side, you do have to realize that your opponent can also play as well when you get rid of Mystic Mine. Alex keeps some perfect patience about him and wants to remove the Mystic Mine on his own terms. And not only that, but the plan to remove Mystic Mine during Adam's end phase prevents him from activating just another one if he needs to keep slowing down the game. And it gets even better. As Alex plays this game even slower, he sets his infinite impermanence in the same column as the last unknown set of Adam. So as he tries to break free of the Mystic Mine, he gets to negate one of the sets that Adam has. So with no monsters on field and 3 sets, he passes turn back to Adam. So play goes back to Altergeist, and all they can do underneath Mystic Mine is to set another card and pass turn back. Where in the end phase, just like in game 1, Robertson summons back Rikka to equal the monster counts, and Mystic Mine destroys itself again. And with no Mystic Mine on the field, Alex has his moment to push. He leads with a normal summon of Sunseed Genius Loci, a normal monster, level 1, that would terrorize European YCSs for the next 18 months. Adam sees this and elects to flip up his newly set personal spoofing, but does not opt to activate the effect to shuffle back his Marionetter. So now Alex, seeing an opportunity to deal with the only real unknown on the field, chains his infinite impermanence to negate the column that it's in. On the resolution, Adam will activate the Multi-Faker, to which Alex Robertson has a Rikka Princess to negate the effect in the hand. And also, to boot, with the effect of Konkon, he gets to tribute the Marionetter on the field of Adam. And if you're wondering what the unknown set was, it was another Demise of the Land. Yeah, another copy of Mystic Mine, basically. Like, absolutely preemptive, premeditated class play from Alex Robertson. He has dealt with essentially 2 Mystic Mines with just a single piece of non-engine, and it's not named Cosmic Cyclone. Alex is now free with just 1 unknown in the hand of Adam, and an Altergeist manifestation that simply won't do anything, unleashes a Wombo combo. Now, I'm not going to play-by-play this is like 30 different actions, but he assembles a big board with big monsters that attack for big damage. Adam tries to body block with manifestation, but Teardrop will go ahead, tribute that, swing for well over 10,000 damage, and Alex Robertson has taken down a stun player with basically a hand tied behind his back. And yes, you can yap about Adam, he could have done this, he could have done that, but it's more to commend Alex Robertson for navigating the known situation perfectly. And a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Knows how the rest of this story goes. Alex Robertson gets knocked out in the top 32, playing against another Mystic Mind player. But Marcus Mattel takes his deck list to the house, flipping rivalry on everyone in sight. No shame to you, Marcus. And wins the European WCQ 2022. And then the next 18 months is history. So that's gonna do it. Rest in peace, Rikka Avalon, and get a new deck, EU. On that note, folks, peace.